A very good evening and welcome back to my channel Sense of Science, providing you educational videos from class 9 to 12, physics, chemistry, bio and English and mathematics. So let's get started with the topic of today. The topic of today's class is derivation of the formula of force by using Newton's second law of motion. So before we actually move on to the derivation, let us just discuss the Newton's second law of motion in a quick succession. The Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force in the direction of the force. Okay. So what we get here, let's just try to understand this statement. The first term which I get is momentum. Okay. Now when I talk about momentum, we know what momentum is. Momentum is mass into velocity denoted by P. Okay. This is what momentum is. And one more thing which we know is what is momentum actually. The product of mass into velocity is its formula. But what is it? It is the quantity of motion of an object. Okay. Quantity, how much motion of an object is defined by momentum. Fine. So let's begin with the next term. The next term which we get is force. Force we all know is an effect, okay, a push or pull effect which can cause a change in the configuration of an object. So force always changes configuration. Okay, this we know. Now the third term which is important here is the rate of change. Okay, when we are talking about momentum, we are talking about rate of change. What is rate of change? How, with respect to time? Yes, how momentum is changing with respect to time, because whenever we talk about rate of something, rate means we are dividing it by time. Okay, suppose rate of change of any quantity x, it is x upon t. That means it is with respect to time. Okay, so hence what we are finding is the rate of change of momentum, which is with respect to time, is directly proportional to the applied force in the direction of the force, in whichever direction the force will be acting. So from that, this second law of motion, we have to derive the formula. Okay, so let us get started with the formula. So the first thing I get is, what I have to do basically is, I have to find, so in this derivation, what I have to do is, I have to find force from momentum. Okay, using momentum I will find the formula of force to relate the second law of motion. So let's get started. The first thing I need to find is momentum. So if an object is having mass m, so let us consider an object. You have to write this, an object of mass m, and velocity of that object is v. Okay, this is fine. We are considering an object with mass m and velocity of the object is v. So in that case, momentum of that object, p vector, momentum is a vector quantity, will be equal to m into velocity. Why am I putting this arrowhead? Because velocity and momentum are having directions and they are thus vector quantities. Okay, so p is equal to mv. Now the next thing which I have to find is rate of change. Rate of change means dividing by time. And when we divide something by time, or we just find the rate of change, what are we actually doing? We are now differentiating. Okay, differentiating with respect to time, because whenever we talk about rate of something with respect to time, we are actually differentiating it using differential calculus. Okay, so differentiation means d of dt into p is equal to d upon dt, okay, into mv. This is what is meant by differentiation. Now d of dt into p will basically be your dp by dt. Mass of an object is always a constant, and whenever we are having a product with a constant, we take the constant out. Okay, md by dt of v, or mdv by dt what I will be writing. Why has mass come out? Because m is a constant, and whenever there is a constant in product of a differentiation, we take it out. Whenever constant is independent, we get the differentiation as 0. Okay, here it is in product, so I just take it out. Now we already know from kinematics that dv by dt is rate of change of velocity. Okay, velocity by time. And what is rate of change of velocity? This dv by dt, which is the rate of change of velocity, we all know is equal to acceleration. Okay, so hence we get that dp by dt is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, this is what we get as the formula for rate of change of momentum. Now the next thing I have to do is, I know from Newton's second law, using this Newton's second law, we know that rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. Okay, that means dp by dt is directly proportional to force. This is your Newton's second law. Now put the value of dp by dt. What is the value of dp by dt from 1? ma. Ma is the value. So therefore, using equation 1, your dp by dt becomes ma is proportional to force. Force is also a vector quantity. Now to remove proportionality, add a constant. Okay, that means force therefore is equal to kma. This is the formula. Okay, now there is one more to add to this, one more important thing, that for our preference, when we experimented, the scientists experimented, they found out that the value of this constant k is always equal to 1. Okay, so hence the final formula for force is mass into acceleration, ma. Okay, because this is from experiments that the value of k constant has been proven to be 1. So hence the final formula of force becomes mass into acceleration. Fine, ma is your final formula for force. So hence this is what the derivation states. Okay, now from this derivation there is one more thing. One more thing which we can be asked about is the units of force. Units we always get from the formula. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is what? What is the unit of mass? Kilogram. And what is the unit of acceleration? Meter per second square. So unit of force is kg meter per second square, and the value of this kg meter per second square is equal to Newton, on the scientist Newton, which is denoted by N. So hence the unit of force is Newton, okay, which is equal to kilogram meter per second square. Okay. Now tell me one thing, is the force a vector quantity or a scalar quantity? It's a vector quantity. Okay, we know it's a vector quantity because acceleration is a vector. Okay, and when we multiply a vector by a scalar, we get a vector. Now one more thing, definition of 1 unit. This is again very important for boards. 1 unit of force, 1 Newton force. 1 Newton force basically is force on an object having mass 1 kg and acceleration 1 meter per second square in the direction. Okay, in a direction. The mass is 1 kg and acceleration is 1 meter per second square produced by the force, and that is called your 1 Newton of force. Fine. Now this unit of force in Newton is basically your SI unit, and we all know we have a CGS unit as well. The CGS unit of force is called dyne. Okay, I'll just write the CGS unit also, dyne. Okay, which is your basically kilogram ki jagah we put gram, and meter per second square instead of it we put centimeter per second square. Okay, which is gram centimeter per second square. And one thing again, how to convert these two units. Okay, we get one more formula from there, how to convert these two units. The formula is, I'll write it here, 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay, this is a formula, and to get this formula we can use dimensional analysis. Okay, there is a concept in units and measurements called dimensional analysis. From that, this formula that 1 Newton is equal to 10 power 5 dyne can be found out very simply. Okay, in case you want me to do the dimensional analysis for this, please do write in the comment section so I can prove this formula. Okay, we prove this by dimensions. Okay, so this was about the derivation of force and about the units and direction, or units and the CGS and SI unit of force. I hope this has made the concept clear. In case you have any doubt or want me to do any specific topic, please do comment in the comment section. Okay, your comments are valuable and are a lot needed. So with this we close the class. Thank you.